Hey, beautiful mamas, we're back. Grab your favorite mug of coffee or tea. Maybe it's that one you're about to reheat because mom life. And let's settle in for another heart to heart. I'm Amy, and I'm so glad to be here with you, continuing our money journey. We started with budgeting to take control of our finances, then built emergency funds as a soft landing for life's little surprises. Today, we're tackling something many of us carry: debt. With grocery prices up and life's demands pulling us every which way, paying down debt can feel like climbing a mountain in flip-flops. But this isn't about stress. It's about taking small, loving steps to lighten that load and find freedom. So let's sip our drinks and dive in. You're already doing so much, and I'm here to cheer you on as always. Since we've been building our financial confidence, let's start by looking at debt without judgment. As moms, we carry so much: diapers, dreams, and sometimes debt from credit cards, student loans, or that minivan payment. The first step is knowing what you owe. Pull up a chair with your coffee or tea and list your debts, the balance, interest rate, and minimum payment for each. You can use a notebook or apps like You Need a Budget, or another one is Debt Payoff Planner. Those will help you organize it. With interest rates still pinching, high rate credit card debt, some of them are 20 to 24%, can grow fast. So don't feel alone if it's heavy. This isn't about shame. It's like checking your kid's fever to know how to help, right? Seeing the numbers clearly is your first brave step towards freedom. Now that you've faced your debt, you've got it all written down, right? The interest rate, minimum payment, all that stuff. Let's choose a path to pay it down that feels right for you. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as an old boss used to say to me. And I'm about to introduce two very commonly known ways of tackling debt, and you pick the method that is appropriate for you. Okay? There are two popular strategies that work, like different parenting styles. Both get results. Both of them do, just in very different ways. So there's two different names for them, and you've probably heard them before. So the first one I'm going to say is the debt snowball. Focuses on paying off the smallest debt first for quick wins, right? This is one of Dave Ramsey's favorites, like cheering your kids' first steps. So it's one that I've used. I find seeing something completely paid off, even if it's just something small, makes me feel like I'm making progress. So I do like the debt snowball method personally. So the way you do it is you list your debts from smallest to largest, and then you pay minimums on all of them, right? But you throw extra cash at the smallest one until it's gone. Then you roll that payment into the next, hence the snowball aspect of it. Okay, then the second method is another commonly known one called the debt avalanche. And this one targets the highest interest rate first to save money long term, like planning for your kid's future. So in this case, you list debts by interest rate, highest to lowest, and focus extra payments there. So you focus your extra payments at the one with the highest interest rate. Pick what motivates you between those two methods, right? And what makes sense for your debt situation, whether it's the quick wins or the bigger savings on the interest, and stick with it. See it through. Kind of like choosing a stroller. Go with what moves you forward and what works for your situation. Since we're talking about extra payments, let's find that money, even when your budget feels stretched tight. Remember our budgeting episode 2 weeks ago? Those same tricks help here. Small changes add up. That's the key. Small changes add up. Try cutting one coffee run a week. $5 saved can go straight to debt. Check subscriptions. Oh, this is one that got me, and I'll tell you what, It's one that most people are guilty of, right? You have subscriptions that you're not even using. Canceling one, even if you are using it, or maybe there's one that you aren't using and you can just cancel it and it's no big deal, or there is one you are using, you can also cancel it and maybe just not use it for a little bit. And that could free up, like, say $10 a month, maybe $20 a month, depending on how big the subscription is, right? How expensive it is. Shop smarter with store brand groceries. I can't speak to down in the US, but I know in Canada we have like the PC brand and the No Name brand for lower costs, but often very similar products. And personally, I prefer them to some of the name brands. And then, like getting secondhand clothes for your kids, all that fun stuff, right? Those savings can help you chip away at debt. So even if all you do is save $20 a month by making a few small changes, that $20 a month can go towards paying down debt. If you've got an emergency fund, like we talked about last time, even $500, you can redirect some of those savings to debt, knowing you're covered for the surprises. So what I mean by that is, if you have already built up a bit of an emergency fund, leave it there and stop contributing to it, but take what you would normally contribute to it and move it towards the debt. So you don't touch the emergency fund, but you take that payment that you were normally making to build it up and put it towards the debt. That way, if something happens, you still have that emergency fund to fall back on, right? It's like finding coins in the couch cushions. Every bit you redirect is a step toward lighter shoulders. With a plan to free up cash, let's make paying debt easier with automation. Because mama, your brain's already full. Technology is your friend. We've talked about this before. Technology is your friend. Set up automatic payments for at least the minimums on all debts to avoid late fees. This is one of my favorite features, and I would imagine it's the same down in the States. I know in Canada, all of our debt usually has that option, and it's wonderful. Most banks or, certain apps, I think one of them would be Mint, let you do this online. The banks do it, the credit cards do it, even like your cell phone bill will let you do it, all that fun stuff. For your focus debt, so that's what one you're focusing on for the snowball, or if you're choosing the avalanche one where you're focusing on the high interest, okay, your focus debt, schedule an extra payment, even $10 a month. Okay, so say your minimum payment for that one is $50. So you schedule that payment, but then you schedule an extra payment on top of that, even if it's just an extra $10 to go straight to it. It's like setting up auto pay for daycare, right? Less to think about, but you're making more progress by doing it. If you get a tax refund or a side hustle cash, toss it at your debt instead of a splurge, right? If you're deciding to take up some door dashing or whatever, or maybe you did some house sitting or whatever the case may be, do not use those funds to, buy yourself a new purse, but rather put it towards the debt. Automation is like quiet helper, chipping away at debt while you're busy with bedtime stories or work calls or deliveries, whatever the case may be. Since we're building momentum, let's talk about prioritizing high interest debt. Those rates, like 20 to 24% on credit cards, can eat up your budget fast. If you're using the avalanche method, you're already targeting these. But even with the snowball, consider high interest debts early. Look into balance transfer cards with 0% introductory rates. Obviously, check the terms carefully, because sometimes that only works for like a couple months and then they nail you with a higher interest rate, right? To pause the interest and pay the principal down faster. So that's one way to tackle that. Or you could call your creditor to go negotiate a lower rate. Many, not all, will work with you if you ask. Most people don't think to ask is the key. It's like soothing a fussy toddler. Calm persistence can work wonders. Knocking out high interest debt is like clearing a big hurdle, by the way, giving you more room for family needs and dreams. As you pay down debt, let's keep that progress safe. Just like we protected our emergency fund last episode, avoid new debt by sticking to cash or debit for daily expenses. Leave those credit cards for planned purchases only. Or, better yet, my personal favorite, cut them up. Just get rid of them altogether. If you're tempted by a deal online, pause and ask, is this worth slowing my debt payoff? Keep your emergency fund, even if it's just $500, intact to cover surprises. Do not touch it, so you don't have to rely on credit in the future. And check your credit score regularly. There's free apps out there. Some of the banks will do it, right? You can check it, and it's not a ding to your credit, but you can definitely see what's going on. You know, it's like locking the gate after bedtime. You're keeping things secure, which lets you rest easier. Since we've made budgeting and emergency funds a family affair, let's bring that to debt payoff too. Share your goal gently with your partner or kids. For little ones, say, we're saving extra so we can do fun things like go to the park. Let older kids contribute ideas, like packing lunches to save $10 a week. With your partner, steal a moment over coffee or tea to align on your debt plan. Maybe just 10 minutes after bedtime. Every little bit helps, right? With life's chaos, these talks are like that warm hug that I always talk about, keeping you a team. Involving your family makes debt payoff feel like a shared adventure and not this solo struggle. Before we wrap up, let's honor you, Mama. Paying down debt is hard work. I know, I've been there. And every payment is a victory, like surviving a toddler meltdown. When you pay off debt or hit a milestone, like $500 down, celebrate small. Maybe it's a quiet tea break or a family dance party. Those are my personal favorites. Joy doesn't have to cost much, and it's about recognizing your strength. Each payment is a step toward freedom, letting you focus on your kids' giggles instead of bills. You're not just crushing debt, you're building a lighter and brighter future. As we finish our tea or coffee, let me remind you, you don't need to clear your debt overnight. You're already carrying so much, and every small step, listing one debt, making one extra payment, is enough. Paying down debt is about creating space for your family's dreams. Start today, maybe with one debt listed or one app downloaded, and let it grow gently. You've got this, Mama, and I'm cheering you on with all my heart. Thanks for joining me again. If you've got debt payoff tips or want to share a virtual coffee, I'm here. See you next time, and let's keep lifting each other up.